Hey everyone, welcome back to the UB podcast, and today we have very special guest. Motul is in the house. Welcome Mercia, welcome Jacky. Really honored to have you guys here. You're a big part in the industry, you do a lot for the industry. You have an amazing product. So yeah, we would like to just get to know who is Motul in South Africa. Yeah, why is this industry so important for you guys?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for having us. We're always happy to talk about motorcycles and about Roof of Africa, so good to be here. Nice to see what you guys have done here at UB Leisure as well. So who is Motul? We have a saying to say, Motul is a clothing company that sells oil. So, we have such amazing merch.
Yeah.
We're very much known as a lifestyle brand. So we always tease and say, that's who we are. And then on the side, we sell oil. But no, jokes aside, we're an oil company. We're a French oil company. And I think what a lot of people don't know is we're one of the oldest oil companies.
Wow.
We started in 1853.
Yeah.
And a lot of all the new technologies in oil was Motul. The first multi-grade, the first semi-synthetic, the first fully synthetic, Estacol technology, 300V.
That's amazing.
So a very innovative oil company. So that's who we are. But why motorcycles? That's our DNA.
Yeah.
We think Dakar, MotoGP, Roof of Africa. That's who we are.
Yes. Well, that's very special, and it's I think that's something to be proud of. I think every single ambassador and partner and employee that's involved with this company can be proud of something like that. But let's talk roof. Obviously, that's why we're here. We want to chat about the roof. It's one of the legendary extreme events here in South Africa. Maybe share with us why the roof, and how long have you been involved with the roof?
Yeah, I think, just touching on Mercia's base there. Thanks for having us. It's really awesome to be part of this, and roof is special to us. I mean, it's something we've been a part of for, 10 years. We've been with Roof since 2016, and I think the only one we missed was COVID period. So we've been through it through thick and thin, and Roof's very close to our hearts. It's a very iconic event, long-standing event. I mean, we all know Roof's been around for 50 years plus, so it's very close to us, and it's one of those where guys aspire to attend and partake in Roof, and we like to travel that road and be in that journey with them.
Yeah.
I think also Roof is globally recognized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's in the mountain kingdom. It's got the heritage.
Yeah.
It's had some of the biggest riders and most famous riders here. So it's globally recognized. So that's important to us as well. And I think the most important thing is it's big for the industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The industry needs Roof. People prepare for Roof. They need tires, they need bikes, they need oils.
Stimulates the whole industry.
Yes, it's absolutely the industry needs Roof.
So in the past, you guys have been very involved with the roof, and the bike wash is very important. I mean, for the Oaks, they're on the bike the whole day. Afterwards, they're tired. They need to recover. They need to get the bikes ready, and the last thing they want to do is wash the bike. So I think, is it safe to say Motul will be there with a bike wash this year?
We will. We will definitely be there with the bike wash. I think that's something that people got used to. So not having it will be a big disappointment. So we will definitely be there with the bike wash in the same format that people know. Looking after the riders, washing the bikes for them, having the extra products, the chain lube, the chain clean, everything readily available for them as well. And I think importantly this year, it's even more important, is the environmentally friendly aspect of it. So back in the days, we were already biodegradable. We used the biodegradable product, so we were way advanced, but nobody cared.
Yeah.
Now people care.
Yeah.
So it's important that the right product is used at Roof as well. So we definitely back with a bike wash to help. Jacky often washes himself,
Nice.
and lube some chains.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
It will be an environmentally friendly bike wash. So we'll be there.
I think that's a very important thing. People don't take notice of that, but in the long run, I'm sure that chemicals is not good for the ground and the long-term environment. So that counts a lot, and it just shows what Motul is about. It's not they're not just there to be a company and make money. They actually care about the environment and giving back.
Exactly.
Talking about products, what would you say at the Roof? Obviously, those Oaks go through tough conditions. What is the most common or famous brand that the guys are using?
Well, obviously Motul. But I mean, I think delving into it, Lawrence, I mean, you know, the importance is if we look at the entrance for Reef.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still a hardcore, die-hard two-stroke riding community.
Yes.
And that is where most of our bikes are lying at Reef. So I mean, you know, we do our Motul 710, which is our two-stroke product. And the beauty of that is, I mean, it's TPR, TBR compatible as well. So you're not going to have clogged injectors. You're not going to have problems with that. I mean, our two-stroke, we find the guys love the product. Over and above the two-stroke, I mean, for us, a very important product is chain lube.
Yeah.
You know, the misconception and the misperception around chain cleaning, guys end up, you know, I'll just use a bit of paraffin or petrol or whatever it does. The problem there is you end up damaging seals on the chains, and the guys don't realize that those little X chain rings and that they get damaged and they perish and they break, and the longevity of your chain is then shortened. So our off-road chain lube is compatible with all of that as well, and that's why the guys steer to using a chain clean and a chain lube that really works in those hard, tough conditions.
Yeah, and obviously the roof is a very technical event.
Yeah.
The temperatures of the bikes go through the roof. I mean, there's hardly any wind coming through the radiators because of the technicality and the slow moving pace. Why is it so important to have the right coolant in your radiators, the gearbox oil? Maybe talk about that, because I mean, that's a massive thing. With the wrong oil, you're either burning your clutch or you're overheating.
You know, if you look at it, we always advise, you know, stick to the OEM recommendation in terms of the product. Use the right, you know, viscosity, and we have that spectrum of viscosities, be it coolants, be it gear oils, be it engine oils. Using the right product for the right application. I mean, the guys spend a lot of money and a lot of time prepping coming to Roof, so you know, make sure that you're running a proper coolant, make sure that you're running the correct oils, you know, and don't skimp. You know, make sure that you've got the right two-stroke, and we have that full portfolio. I mean, and recently we've launched the Road to Roof kit for the riders.
That's cool.
Which is really, really a nice ad for them prepping ready for Roof.
And it's a nice container. It fits nicely in the car.
It's very cool. So I mean, even the bucket thereafter, the guys can use to wash filters in and so forth. And we've included in there the 710, which we spoke of. I mean, the 710 is the right product, the right chain lube. We've got an air filter oil spray in there. So everything ready to prep yourself, and including the rider in terms of a helmet and visor cleaner. What we've also included in, these will recommend retail at $9.99, but we've actually thrown in at the value of 800 Rand. Co-branded with the service.
That is cool.
And we've done a bag in there too.
Very nice.
So all of that for recommended retail at $9.99, available through most of your dealers. Is a really, really nice start to Roof.
So that is something to look out for the Oaks prepping, definitely. Very nice. Well done, guys.
Oh, and then just to touch our Boost and Clean as well, which is quite a cool additive. I mean, we all know that fuel conditions are not the greatest in certain areas. And I mean, if the guys are having fuel issues, I mean, Boost and Clean is the right thing. It's just an overall fuel system cleaner, injector cleaner.
Which is very important.
Which is very cool. So, I mean, tank of fuel, pop this in and you're ready to go.
Does it boost the octane?
It does too.
Listen, obviously we're speaking about motorbikes and the products for motorbikes, but you guys are not just focused on motorcycles. Maybe chat a little bit about the rest of your industry and the markets that you target, the support you guys get from other motor industries.
Yes, so yeah, we're not just a motorcycle brand. People know us as a motorcycle brand because of just, like I say, it's our DNA. But at the same time, Motul started in South Africa as a motorcycle brand. And only in the last 10 years that we introduced all the other, what we call them pillars, you know. So, but we do automotive, you know, so the same quality oil, the same that guys are used to in their bikes and that deliver and that make their bikes last and their clutch don't slip and their motors don't burn out. That same oil goes into cars as well. So we have an automotive range as well. We also do heavy duty, both on and off road. So, you know, trucks, you know, any machinery that's used on mines or construction, we do that as well. We have an agricultural range. We also have an additive range, which Jacky touched on with the Boost and Clean, but we have that for cars as well. And recently with the diesel quality that people have, you know, had issues with paraffin, we've got the products to fix the challenges there. So yeah, we have that too. And and we also have a car care range and we have a bicycle range as well. So recently like last year, Motul launched the bicycle range too. So basically anything with moving parts, we have a product for it.
That is really amazing. I must say, from the outside looking in, Motul always looks like a family vibe. Like it's not a business, it's not just selling oils. You guys really connect with your market. and the people. Would you say partnering up with someone like the Roof, does it help to interact, or what is the key to keeping that family feel with the brand?
I think, it goes back to when we started and I said, clothing company that sells oil. I think Motul has always been about lifestyle, and it's been about community, about the people. And Roof is very much that for us. I always say, people ask me, what is the things about Roof that gets me? And it's a big reunion of the industry. We're always so busy during the year, and then everybody gets together and we catch up, and it's our opportunity to connect with our customers. And I think that's what makes us different. That's where we are a family business. Our customers are our family. They're extension of who we are. I still this day, people think I'm a little bit mad, but if I'm in a shop and somebody wears a Motul cap, I run over to them. I'm like, who are you? I work for Motul. It's like, they're part of our family.
That's awesome.
And I think with Roof, we learn our customer. What is their needs? What is their challenges? Like you say, you see them fight, or you see the engines, overheating. Then that's the products that we know they need. We know what they want. We understand how they prepare. And we're there for them. For us, how do we build this? We're there for them. We show up. We always say we don't sponsor, we partner. For Roof, you've been there with us. We pull the bikes up. We help the organizers. We're there because that's how we connect, and we get to know. We get to know our customers and what they need, and then we do the wild things too. We get ourselves on motorbikes, and you're going to take me on a Can-Am.
There you go.
Apparently,
100%. Definitely. And that's exactly why this brand is so amazing. Every young up-and-coming rider wants to be part of the brand. And you mentioned now you don't sponsor, you partner. But maybe touch on that. There's a lot of teams, a lot of riders that you guys partner with. What do you look for in a rider and a team? Maybe a word of advice for the youngsters out there. How to get yourself in line with the image that you guys are looking for? Maybe let them know.
I think, the importance for a partnership with Motul is sharing the same passion. It's like Mercia says, it's not a sponsorship. We go into long-term partnerships, and most of our partnerships already are long-term. We've got partnerships that are 10, 15 years old already with athletes. We have the likes of, the Sherco and Trademore, which are participating in Roof, which are really strong partners for us. And I think the importance is, it's easy to run around and stick stickers on bikes and say, I'm sponsored. For us, it's do, eat, sleep, drink, breathe the brand. Were you with the brand before? What was your passion for the brand before? It's almost like a job application. What do you have, and what do you bring to the table to partner with us that we can then walk the journey together?
That while I'm listening to you now, the picture of Brian Kappa coming up the stairs with his trials bike, that's exactly what it is. It's a passion, and it's a lifestyle, and it's sharing like-minded ideas with the same people in the industry. So I think well done to you guys for steering that direction and keeping it real.
I must tell you a story now that you say that. I'm like interrupting, but it's such a cool story about you with Brian Kappa coming up the stairs. So for people who don't know, we had the marketing team from Middle East and Turkey and everybody coming to South Africa. It was a young team, and they came for a presentation, and we were like, Brian Coates came to the office, and we decided over a Red Bull that we're going to brainstorm some ideas. So we decided it's a good idea if he rides up the stairs. And on the day, I was like, oh my gosh, what have we done? But this is cool. We're doing it. And he rode up the stairs at our office, and he wheelied into our office while this whole team was looking at a presentation. So everybody went ballistic. But the coolest story is we recently posted it. And the lady that was there from the Middle East, she doesn't work for Motul anymore, but she commented. And she said that was just such a cool day. She was like, what a cool experience that was. And this is from 7-8 years ago. And it was just so cool that she reconnected with us, and she said she still remembers that day when this bike came up the stairs and went into our office.
I don't think we realize how awesome this industry is. And people that's not exposed to it, like you say, it left a long-term impression. Obviously, being involved with an event like the Roof and the passion that you guys carry, you don't just delegate and let people do the work. Maybe just give the Oaks out there a little bit of an idea what goes in behind the scenes to be there and to give the support.
I think, to start off, it's about 3 to 4 hours sleep every night.
Sounds about right.
People don't know, when the riders line up at 5, the branding has to be up at 4, so you have to make that. And I think, people sometimes go, gosh, just bring some branding. I don't think people understand the logistics behind getting branding, especially across the border, getting, sorting out where it goes, when you're there, the time it takes to do it, to make it look that pretty, because when people show up, it needs to look pretty.
Yeah.
But we did the work 2-3 hours before, and for it to look that pretty, you need to be pedantic as well. You can't just let everybody do it. So I think it's long hours, early mornings, very late nights, a lot of planning, a lot of things go wrong. I mean, Jacky was hit by a arch on his back because we know the Lesotho weather and the winds and the rains, and the branding doesn't stand up when it rains. It flies. We will be sitting having dinner, and people will go, "Your flags are going all over the place. You have to run out and rescue your flag." So I think people underestimate just in terms of branding, just that bit, and then also it's the communication plan. For us, it's again back to being a partner. It's not about what exposure does roof give us. It's what do we do to grow roof. We do a road to roof kit. You know what I mean? We communicate about the event. We get more people there. There's now an adventure bike ride there too. This is stuff that we've been pushing and promoting. One of our partners, Joe Fleming, is doing that, and I always say, make the pie bigger. Don't fight for a slice of the pie. If the pie is bigger, we'll all have bigger pies. So, it's about the communication plan, communicating about roof, how we're going to do it, preparing the kids, giving back to our riders. They can now have something for roof. They can have a bum bag. They can all have all these products. So, it's months and months of planning, and and then it's the late nights.
That's amazing. Obviously, you're mentioning now communicating with the people out there. Maybe touch on how important is it to have educational knowledge about the products. It's not just, here's products, go use it. How important is it to make sure that the guys know how to use it, when to use it? Because it could have a negative effect.
One of our biggest misconceptions, or probably one of the biggest myths out there, is oil is just oil.
Yes.
And oil is not just oil. Jacky spoke about viscosities and, using the right product. And often people have problems that they don't realize because they're using the wrong product.
Yes.
Clutch is slipping. Engine is overheating. You know what I mean? If you use the right oil and you use a quality oil, the engine won't overheat. If you use the right coolant, if you use a coolant additive, the engine won't overheat. So if you use a cheap product, it's not going to last. You're going to have problems. So I think that's the one thing. I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, I think it's synonymously why we've always said, make it last with Motul.
Yes.
And it's been a strong payoff line for us because, once again, using the right product, you are going to get the longevity out of it, and the misperception of price in the market. And we all know that the market is price sensitive at the moment, but I mean, it's worth investing into your motorcycle. Use the right product, use the right application, and you'll get the longevity out of your motorcycle.
I mean, on cars even, simple things like fuel efficiency.
Yes.
If you don't use the right product, it affects your fuel efficiency. So it's like, let me buy a cheaper oil or not the right oil, but pay more petrol.
Exactly.
So, you know what I mean? There's small things that you will pick up, and just using the right product and being educated, you know. We also work with our partners so that they understand, that they use the right product.
Especially in transport. I mean, fuel consumption is a massive part of your overheads. And I mean, if you can improve that by a percentage, that will make a big difference.
Exactly.
And I think that touches base, with Mercia speaking about education factor too, just delving back to our athletes. I mean, our athletes, our partners don't run around as salesmen, but we need them to understand our product, and they need to educate and pass on that education, when they're in a pit area or in a race environment, and public walk up to them and say, why are you using Motul? To be able to relay that on to the next person, to be able to understand the benefits of the range.
But we're really passionate about education, so I'm glad you touched on that. So maybe we can do an evening yard.
That's a great idea.
Right? Like people can comment and say if they want to join.
That's a very good idea.
We'll bring Taki.
Yes.
He's our guru.
Hey, Taki is the man.
He's like, I still learn from him. So you can come and we can have a Q&A session. You can do a little bit of intro on what the benefits are.
That's a very good idea.
Any questions anybody has ever had?
And also, Taki comes from a racing background.
Yes.
He knows the importance of the right equipment, how to look after your bike reliability. So he's the man for that. Obviously, having the knowledge as well of what the product is made of, that will be a great idea to have him on the set.
And he's used every single product.
We
try to use every single product so that is our nozzle really working as well as the pamphlets there? So, but he's used all the products, so he knows the ins and outs in it, and from a rider perspective.
That's awesome. Well, obviously, you guys put a lot back into the industry. Is there a trend that you can see happening in the end user, the dealers out there being involved with the roof? Does the roof actually help?
I think going back onto the trend of the industry, it's definitely something we're seeing, motorcycles and bikes being longer with owners than what they've been. You know, we're not seeing a cycle of replacements.
Yes.
You know, guys are riding their bikes a longer period of time, more hours, more kilometers. And I think that touches base on maintenance, you know, making sure that you are maintaining that bike, because we're not seeing a new bike every year. You know, you've got your guys that are doing so forth, but the general Joe, which is doing your iron bronze classes, the guys are riding their bikes longer. So maintenance is key on that.
Yeah, that's very important. And I know that's what you guys stand for.
Can I just say, I'm a general Joe on a bike. I have huge respect for the soul that have got that bronze folks. They can ride.
Listen, I must just say, off the topic, not roof related, but I've seen you in action at Stofskop. And you are not scared. Yeah, you are very modest.
No, I'm a proper racer.
Yeah, you're very modest.
The red mist kicks in.
Yeah.
They don't want to work.
Yeah. Are you guys doing Stofskop again this year?
Not this year, so we'll do it earlier next year. So
that's something to look out for.
The organizer, for various reasons, decided to postpone it to early next year. But I've had so many WhatsApps of people like, why is Stofskop not happening? When is it happening?
I think they should make you the brand ambassador. Guys, 2026, what can we look forward to? Is there new ranges coming out? Any launches? What events are you guys tackling?
So we'll use this opportunity, because the big thing for us, so it's not motorcycle related, but Motul is back in Formula One.
Wow.
Yes, Motul is back in Formula One. So we're partnering with McLaren for 2026. So we're very excited about that. That's really, really cool. And
that's amazing.
They've actually been using and testing our transmission oils. And so that's, it's a range of ours that we're very proud of. You know, we're definitely market leaders there. That 2026 will be Motul and McLaren.
That's amazing.
And then we're just going to focus a lot. I mean, Jacky showed the Boost and Clean, just to focus on a lot of the products that has launched, but people aren't aware that we're doing it. To communicate quite a bit on that, like the additive, the Boost and Clean. Also our 300V, which is our flagship product. You know, we made the best better.
Yes.
So the formula was improved in 2025. And we actually worked with, so we call kind of racers our living laboratories.
Yes.
So we worked with the Honda team at Dakar.
Wow.
So a lot of the kind of the testing, the work is being done there. So we made the best better. So we're going to really push that, and people, on the 300V. So there's even more performance. So those are the things in 26 that we'll just focus on, because it's launched, but we'll just keep communicating on that.
And that's what makes you guys so special. I mean, you don't just sit back and say we've got a good product. You always try and improve and better.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, give back to the riders out there, because I mean, failure is money. I mean, if you look after your motorcycle correctly, you're not going to have that expenses.
No, exactly.
Any word of advice for newbies doing the roof this year?
Prepare. Whatever you think you need to do, prepare even more.
Yeah.
And then probably like Saki would say, I mean, it's koi milis.
Koi milis. Yeah. What's that? Prepare for the worst, and then you'll be ready.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the roof, like you mentioned.
Listen, I don't know what's going to happen this year with the weather.
Yeah.
We've had 2 lucky years. So,
now that plays 3 seasons in 1 day.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's not unlikely.
No. I mean, remember the year we went from 30 degrees to snow.
Wow.
The next day.
Yeah.
So you have to, we've learned, we've done everything. Rain jackets, windbreakers, hoodies, beanies, it all goes in.
Well, if you can sum all that up in one sentence, what does the roof mean to you guys?
What does the roof mean for us? I think the roof embodies everything that Motul is.
Yeah.
It's about commitment.
Yeah.
It's about passion.
Yeah.
It's about grit. It's about the camaraderie that keeps us all together.
Yes.
And it's just, that's roof, and
that's awesome.
That's Motul.
Well, thank you for supporting the roof. The roof is very special to a lot of us. It's a long-standing extreme enduro, and this year it's part of the World Championship, so it's going to be even more special. So thank you guys for seeing the value and supporting the roof and keeping it alive. I'm sure we're going to see you guys around for many, many more years, whichever events.
Yes.
And educating the people out there how to use the products.
We're here to stay, so
Yeah. Mercia, thank you so much. Jacky, thank you so much. A little gift to say thanks from the UB team.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's not much, but it takes you guys a long way.
Very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you guys at the roof.
See you all at the roof.
Coming up next week on the Roof of Africa podcast, we'll be sitting down with the legend Daryl Curtis to give you some tactical tips and guides to prepare for the Roof of Africa. Stay tuned.